we were discussing about the agile concepts and how the requirements, user stories work, and how do you write a user story, how what is an epic, what is a theme or feature, how the stories are divided into smaller parts, and how the stories are written, and how the acceptance criteria should be written for each user story till yesterday. So what we are going to see now is this is a real software which will be used widely in the software industry to manage the requirements or user stories in a agile scrum development environment. So you will see this software. It may not look like the same like whatever you are seeing here in every company, because lot of customization happens. You might have different options on the left side, you might have different menus on the top as well, but overall this will be the look and feel of that, and you will be having these basic things everywhere. And moreover, if anything anyone customizes it to add some more options based on their need and requirement, they'll be doing that. So I created a project here with the name super training. So you will see the project name here where you are working. You will be given access to only to that project in real time when you are working on a project. Let's say you are working on some project in Phoenix or something, or Genex or anything they'll name, and you will be given only that software, I mean that project access on the Jira software. So you will have a scrum board and a kanban board. Kanban board is nothing but kanban is also another methodology in agile programming. So agile scrum and agile kanban are two different, but widely used are agile scrum. Kanban board wise, most of the people use it just to manage the requirements, to change the statuses. I'll show one by one so that you will not get confused. Okay, so this is the project and how this will look like. And this project doesn't have any user stories now, and you are in an active sprint. Let's say you are in a sprint, in the middle of a sprint, and this is the active sprint for that. As I showed you yesterday, you will have three main statuses: to do, in progress, and done. When the card is not picked up, you will see that card under this to do column, and if it is in work, you will see it in progress when it is in dev stage or testing, and when everything is done, you will move that card into the done stage. But based on the company requirement, these columns can be any number. So this is basic structure, but sometimes you will have requirements in progress. When business analyst is doing the requirements, the card will be under requirements in progress, and then after that you can see dev in progress. Once the requirements are done, it will be moved into dev in progress, and testing in progress, testing complete, and after that demo in progress, and after that accepted or done. So similar, you will usually see in real time like at least 5 to 6 statuses for different cards, for each card I mean. So whenever the card moves from one state to another state, I mean the story card, the card status will change, and it will be moved automatically when the status is changed from one column to the other until it reaches the done or accepted stage, whichever the naming convention is in the project you will be working on. Okay, so this is the active sprint where you see the statuses, and on the left side if you see backlog. So whatever the all the requirements are in this project, you will see it in this backlog. So whatever you create, so they will be under this backlog, and whatever you have in this current sprint, you will be seeing it in the upper portion of this. So without wasting time, let's go ahead and create few requirements. Okay, so on top, but on top there will be a create button. You will see the same thing in real time as well. So when you create it, it will ask you to select the project first, and you have to select the story type, if it is a epic or bug or a task or story. I think I have explained you about everything, right? Epic is a bigger aspect or bigger chunk of the story, under which you will have smaller user stories. And when after the development, when testing happens, if they identify any defect in the code or requirements, the testers will raise the defect and that is called a bug. And when they are raising a defect, they have to open a issue, and when they are raising the defect, they will create the option bug. And task also I was explaining yesterday. So whenever some in some companies for stories, the scrum master or the BA or the dev can be creating different tasks for that, for testing one task and for development one task. And when dev is done, he'll mark the task as completed, and when the testing is done, the tester will mark the task as completed for those stories. And the story should be accepted only when all the tasks under it are completed, if you are following the task kind of convention in your project. Okay, so let's create an epic first. Okay, so epic name, let's create personal banking. So you should be able to give all the summary and everything. So as a customer, I should be. For Epic, you don't need to write as a in a user perspective, but some people will prefer writing it in user perspective, and some people just write the brief description of the Epic. But user stories, you should be following this convention. I should be able to manage I should be able to log into my personal banking account so that I can manage my account. This is simple. So components in projects, you will have different components also different. These all come predefined. The scrum master sitting with the product owner will define all your projects, and he will give it to you. Whenever you are creating issue, you will have all this defined. You will not be able to, you should not, you will not be creating any of these new as a business analyst, but you'll be making use of whatever is already existing. So you'll be writing this, and component you'll select if it is personal, if you have components like personal banking, credit cards, mortgages. So as this is related to personal banking, you'll select the component as personal banking. If the store is related to some other aspect, you'll select that. Okay, so in the end here, you will give a detailed description of the story card if you want to. Then click on create. So this epic is created. If you click on this, you will see the epic here. Okay, and all the details related to epic will be displayed here. Who is the assignee? You can just start typing here and assign it to someone in the team if you have added the team, or else you can just assign it to yourself. You say you can assign it to yourself. And the priority of this sprint, is it medium or high or everything, the scrum master and BA will decide. Okay, so now we'll go and create some user stories under this. So here you say story now. Okay, status is in backlog. Where do you want to create it? Okay, so summary. So summaries can be like, you can just whatever name it is, log into the personal banking account using username and password. And in this, so Jira cards are an overview of the requirement. These are not the actual requirements actually. So you will be using either Confluence or SharePoint or Word document or Excel document, whatever is the company norm, and link that detailed documentation to this story card. This is the actual story card, but the detailed documentation linked to this will be residing somewhere in the repository, either it is SharePoint or Confluence, whatever the company is using. Okay, so here in the description you will write as a user, as a customer, I should be able to log in to my account using username and password so that I can access my account, and whatever details you want to add you can add here. And reporter, who is writing this story card will come as reporter. Okay. And linked issues, you can link it to any other issue if you want to. If you have like many options available. If this is blocked by any other story card, you can use this and select the other story card here. If it is duplicated by, or if it relates to some other story card, you can add, you can check relates to and select that issue here. So if you keep on typing, you will get the prompts to which the issue can be linked to, and you can select one of them. Let's create one first, then after that we can see the links and everything. Priority, you can select the priority here. Check on create. So as I should be able to log into my personal bank account so that I can manage my account. So if you go into the backlog, you will see it here. Okay, whatever you create in this project, they all will go under the backlog. If you just drag and drop it here, it will be moved into the current sprint. And if you go to the active sprints, we need to define the sprints. Actually, when you are in the backlog, you can just start the sprint here, and you can specify the dates. If you did specify the dates here, so you should start the sprint, describe the dates, and put the dates from 29 to end date is, let's say, 2 weeks means 26th, and create start the sprint. So if you see the sprint now, you will see the story card here. So whatever story card you create, it will be in the backlog first, or else you can just select it into a different sprint directly or assign it. But all the options are not available here. But in real time, when you are creating a story card, you will have like 40-50 options here. So fixed versions, the team will be deciding which story card will be going into which fixed version. Means it will be like there are, let's suppose there are like four releases planned for this year. Let's say one is in March, one is in June, one is in September, and one is in December. Every single release will have a fixed version which we will be assigning to that story card. And when that story card is deployed into the, I mean, in the any environments or into the application, this fixed version number will be along with that particular piece of code related to the story card, so that we can keep track of what this code, when developer looks at that code, he will be able to identify which requirement it is related to. And if a BA is investigating something, if he gives the requirements number to the developer, then dev can go into that and see what type of code is there in the system. Okay, so we can create a number of issues like this. And this is free. Actually, you guys can register and you can just play around in the system. You have lot of tutorials on YouTube as well on how to, we have time constraint, but you have hours and hours together of Jira, Confluence and everything. So you should be able to just follow them and this doesn't need any installation also. Just go to atlassian.net and search for Atlassian.jira, and you will get the first link, and just open it, register with your email address, and then you are good to go. You can start by creating a project and playing around with all these options, creating the backlog, stories, epics, and everything. So get the mini statement. So this can be a story. So here you can write, as a legit customer, means the customer who is logged in. I want to I want to view the mini statement so that I can keep track of my transactions, or whatever it is, depending on the view. And when you write the actual requirements, you dig into details, how the mini statement should look like, how many number of transactions it should show, how many, what are the columns in that, what should the columns read, is it debit or credit, and where should the balance show, only at the end, or where should the date show, and the merchant name, or whatever the details you need to display on the mini statement, you will cover it in the acceptance criteria. But the story card for this should look like this, and if you want to add any more details onto this, you can just add it here. Okay, when you create this again gets added into the backlog. If you want to work it into this sprint, you can just move it into the sprint, or else if you are if you want to work in the next sprint, and you can do it in the next sprint. Okay, when you move this, okay, so if you go to active sprints, you will see these two cards here. So both are in the to do status. Let's say if you open this, where is the status? And what if you are working on this, if you want to add any comment on this, you will be able to add the comment on this. So when you have a meeting, or you are waiting for something, so that everyone knows, had a meeting on this topic, the business will get back 2 days later. This is just for information sake I'm writing. And you can tag if your scrum master or product owner, anyone, by typing a @ symbol. When you type @ and keep on typing, you will be able to see the suggestions here, and you select it, it will be displayed here. And when you click save, an email notification will be sent to this person, saying that you are mentioned in a comment on this particular story card, and they can click on the link and they can come to the story card and have a look at this, what they have written, or what the current status of this story card is. Okay, so tasks, I told you, right? You can create any task on this by using this button. So when you create a subtasks, you will be, so development create. So this is a task. So if you want to assign it to a developer, you can just assign it to the developer by searching his name and assign it to him. Okay, so now it is assigned to me as well. So you can create a QA subtask also. QA testing. Don't worry about the numbering convention, it will just keep on adding the next number. So You need not be worried about all the stories cards will be in a serial order and the tasks they will be in a serial order. So it will not be like that. Whatever issue, everything is called an issue here, and whatever issue you create, it will be appended with the next available number. If someone has created st4 st6 after this, and you are creating another task or another user story, you will get st7 now in the same project. Okay, any questions so far? Actually, we should have a field here to move the status of the card. I don't see it, but yeah, it is a customizable option, I believe. So you can, whatever the status we have available on the board, we should be able to see a drop down here so that we can move the card. But right now, we can just move it like this. So if this is, if development is carried out by the dev, then he'll put this card here and then continue his development, and once he is completed writing the code and sends it for deployment, then he moves it to done. Okay, and tester also, when he is doing the testing part, he will put it in progress, and when the testing is complete and all the test cases are passed and the story is ready to go, then he will move this card to here. So after this is done, the developer will take this. So this also, so why is this in backlog? Okay. Similarly, the story cards also can be moved from here to here. So this is the basic version without any customization. Even I am getting confused with that because everything will be structured and customized in the real-time environment. You will see different statuses, and on the story card itself, you will see where to change it. So if you don't have this subtask structure, you can just directly move the story card also from to do to in progress, and once it is done, you can move it from this to this. Then when it is done, you will see the story card number is striken off. So this means that the story is done status, is in done status. Okay, so you can, there are lot many other features. You can see all the issues here. Issues means everything, epic, story card, task, everything is called an issue. So you can see the issues here, and you can filter them by the assignee name. If you have like 5 people or 10 people in the team, everyone will be shown here, and you can just select one member and you will see the issues assigned to him. And if you are logged in as yourself, then if you click on my open issues, only issues that are assigned to you and are in open status and that are not in done status will be displayed here. Okay, so done issues means you will see the done issues here. And let me take you to the Kanban board also. So this is our Scrum board where we manage our sprint, and some people use Kanban boards as well. So this is a sample Kanban board for the same project. So it will also have the same kind of, but an extra column. So everything which is in backlog is shown here. These are still in the backlog, and these are in done status. The QA testing is in progress for the first card. and these two cards which you have, these are in still backlog. So I told you, right, definition of ready means, so when they are ready for to be taken into the development, they are put in the backlog in Kanban methodology. And when you are taking it into development and completing everything, then it is called definition of done, DOD. So when it reaches this stage, it is called DOD, and when it is in this stage, it is called DOR. So the customization and almost all everything is done by the backend team, and your Scrum Master will be taking care of the customization part, adding the features, adding the projects, and everything. But as a business analyst, you will be navigating through the software to manage your requirements. So in your interviews, you tell I used Jira software or Jira to manage the requirements and user stories. Okay, so Jira is widely used, and there are some other softwares also called Rally, and one more I don't recall the name, but they are also used. But Jira is like, in most places Jira is used, and obviously I 100% think that if you get a job, you will be in a place where Jira is used. Okay, any questions? So Jira and Confluence will always be linked. Confluence is also sold by the same company called Atlassian. So they usually, companies who implement Jira also will be implementing the Confluence. So when you write requirements on Confluence, in Confluence you will have the option to link the particular Jira card or respective Jira card to that Confluence page, and when you link that Confluence page to this Jira card, you will be seeing it under this. So here you see link issue, right? This is linking issue, but we will have an option over here which will display all the Confluence page links which are attached to this particular Jira card. Okay, so what else do we have? These reports and everything, this will be handled by the Scrum Master himself. So these reports aspect of Jira software will give them the option to explore how the sprint is going, and how, where do we stand in the sprint days, and how many stories have we completed, how many are to be done, and are we on track, are we losing track. So everything, the Scrum Masters will make use of these other options to track the project status. Okay, so releases, I think that's all for the Jira part of Agile. Any questions?
Yeah, hi Sam. Like I have a question like for one project, like how many members will be having the access? Like BA person and the developing team
For Jira
and
software,
yeah, for Jira software project, like for one project, how many members will have the access? Accept.
your whole project team. Okay, so whatever
Okay.
the Scrum team. So in a company might have like 10 or 20 projects running at the same time, right?
Yeah.
So it will be like, they will have insurance wing, they will have banking wing, everything. So there will be like even in insurance wing itself, there will be 5 or 6 projects going on at the same time. One will be policy side, one will be claim side, one will be digital side, and one will be like billing center side. So like there will be like 5 or 6 projects in the insurance itself. So for insurance, they will create a space, and in that they will create 5 different projects. So while adding the teams to a project, they will mention which project, which team will be accessing which kind of project or which project, and they will only have the access to that project. So if you are allocated to a project and if the admin adds you on a particular project, then only you will have access to that project. Your project team, let's say like yesterday I told you, like there will be 10 to 12 members, right? All 10 to 12 will be there. Along with you there will be DevOps team who will be deploying the code, and there will be some support team who will be helping you do all these tasks in Jira, and also the business team who are helping you give the requirements and approve them. They will also be part of this Jira software project. Because when you want to add a comment saying that you need something on a story card, you sometimes you might need to tag the business people also along in the comment section or in the story cards. So in that cases, so if they are included in the project, when you add a comment tagging them, an automatic email notification will go to them so that they'll come and check the comment on that, and they'll be able to take necessary action. So it eliminates the redundant work. Like, so you, in that case, you need not go to the business and see him again, like, oh, I am working on this story card and I am adding a comment there, can you please go and check? Or else you don't need to explain him again that you are doing something on this and you need something on this. So you, if you add the comment, he'll understand that, oh, this project, this story card is stuck here and he needs help from me. He'll be able to have information beforehand before you get in touch with him, and it makes your job little easier. So everything is integrated. All the people who are related to the project, who have a interest, who have an interest in the project, are stakeholders, business people, your dev people, or else whoever it is who has interest in the project will be assigned to that project in Jira. And Jira is like a subscription based. If a member is on the project, the company will be paying some $10 or $8 per person per month, I think. So if you are 100 people, they'll add 100 people onto that. So whoever is on the assigned to that project or in added into that project, they will have access to everything on the project.
Okay, one more question. You told like BA person will create the subtask or the story uh,
Mhm.
in this Jira. So you told like other persons will also have the access, like
Yeah,
the developing team or the QA team.
yeah.
So is there any chances once I create the story
Mhm.
and saved it, like other person can edit it, or only I should be editing?
Everyone
If
can
some,
edit it, everyone can edit it, and again it depends on the permission. If a user is granted only read only permission, then he'll be able to only read only. But as a project team, everyone will be given access, because QA also needs to add his comments on the card. And whoever adds comment or whoever does anything on that, you will have history recorded in that, and whatever change you have done and whoever did it, there is a history event recorded on each of the issues. Let me
okay.
show you 1 second. Let's say this is the story card. So if you see this, you see comment section here, you have a history section here. So updated the, we have created it and updated it, and it says work log. So these are all. So in this history events, they actually customize it to show who has done it and what he has done it. Okay, so here, so I changed the sprint from none to scrum print one, right? So it is in the backlog first. So no sprint was assigned to it, but I assigned a sprint to this particular user story card. So be it my, and it's my user ID, and I did this change.
Yeah.
Okay,
So everything will be visible in
recorded.
history.
Yeah,
Whoever changes the
yeah, yeah.
like.
Yeah,
story
yeah,
to or move the story from like develop in process to done.
yeah, yeah, yeah. See, I updated the description to this.
Yeah.
So Jira will keep track of whatever the changes are done and who is doing that change. So you can just even if it's the same with Confluence also. If you completed a requirements page and if someone is going to into that and editing that, you will have a history entry made into that saying that this particular thing has been edited in your Confluence page at this particular moment of time and this person has done it.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I would like you to just create a user for Atlassian, I mean Jira, and then play around with this create project. And so project, go to projects, create a project, and in that create issues, go into the backlog, see where it is storing, move around them, create some 10 stories, play around with them. Yeah.
Sam, I have one question. It
Mm-hmm.
may be a lame question too, but you have told epic and task, right?
Yeah.
So, based on what, like, I mean, like, how should we get an idea? Like, for this requirement, we should create epic, or for this requirement, we should create task. How will we get that idea?
It's dependent on the size of the story. Like if you are talking about personal banking, when you say that I want to log in as a customer using my login name and password so that I can manage my account. Manage my account means managing account means it can be in n number of ways. You can change your profile settings, you can change your profile details, you can access your account, you can access your mini statement, you can do your funds transfer, you can deposit funds, you can transfer funds, or you can generate a detailed statement, you can add a beneficiary, remove a beneficiary. So there are tons of actions you can done in personal banking, right? So personal banking manage my account cannot be a story because you get like tons of actions under that. So
Okay.
it should be an epic.
Okay. Got it, Sam. Yeah.
So in that epic, so transfer funds using Interact, or transfer funds using wire transfer, or transfer funds using some other method, email will be some different story cards. So transferring funds can be an epic by itself because you can have like 10 types of funds transfers, right?
Okay.
And you
Yeah.
can club all of them into one epic. So in this case, so this will be whole personal banking will be a feature or a theme, and under that you will have funds transfer as an epic, and under that you will have 10 stories, one with wire transfer, one for email transfer, one for the interact transfer, etc, etc. So,
Okay.
yeah, this is called backlog grooming. So, whenever you have story cards and epics defined, so if you are going for a guidewire project, guidewire will give you a set of user stories which the industry should follow, but based on your need you will add more stories or remove some stories from that set of stories, because this is a standard product implementation, right? So guidewire supplies with a set of user stories, so companies will customize them according to their needs. Sometimes they omit some user stories which are not needed for them. So there is something called audit transaction, like most of the companies don't implement that. So the story cards are epics related to that audit transaction. No need, right? So we just omit or remove them from our backlog, like that.
Okay, Sam. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So I would like you to just, as I was telling you earlier, also like you to just register for this and try playing around in Jira software for today. And tomorrow I'll see if we have missed out any topics, and I'll try to cover them up like diagrams and stuff. And then after that, from next week, we'll move on to insurance topics and guidewire. So this